Located, see, this is why we do multiple takes. Hi, did I say it on my own name?
Yeah, a little bit.
Have you considered building your dream home? It can be very helpful to talk with a custom home builder for the best advice. Let's go on an adventure. Here, and I'm in Stonecliff in a beautiful home built by Spilker Custom Homes. I'm actually with Clark and Nick Spilker and want to go over some common things if you're considering building a custom home. Let's talk to the builders and see what you should be considering. If I have a client that's a buyer that's looking to build, what are some key points that you can tell them that they should consider in this custom home building process?
My first counsel to them would be start with your builder, start with your agent, work as a team. The first time I meet couples, I spend quite a few hours with them just in consultation, just asking them questions. What do you like? What do you prefer? And this is always before they purchase anything. Another one of the questions we ask them is, what is your budget? Mm-hmm. And we do the best we can to keep on their budget all the way through the whole process.
Yeah, and that initial consultation gives them a chance to dream and incorporate the most important pieces into the home, mm-hmm. so that you can work with them in setting that budget that's realistic for what they want.
Yeah.
Another big part of it is a lot of people think that they need to start with a house plan. Uh-huh. But realistically, you need to look at land first.
Okay.
Considering your budget while you're looking at lots. Then once you find a piece of ground, while you're looking at that ground, we'll kind of give you an idea if you can build a certain amount of square footage on it. And we already have an idea of, if you want a big RV garage or if you want a pool. Mm-hmm. So it's really important to know about those things while you're looking at land.
Definitely.
Before you design, or draw plans.
Mm-hmm. And as we were talking, there's some stories about maybe some clients that purchased the land, but it didn't meet the design of the home that they wanted to build. So when looking at the land, you also want to be thinking up front about that design to make sure that they will work together.
Yeah, it's one of the things I really admonish when I first meet my clients is I want to have a meeting with both husband and wife.
And I can't imagine why.
Most households, most couples, there's always one that likes to take the reins and lead. So ask both of them those questions, and sitting down together, and then steer them in the direction that I believe will meet those needs for both of them. And then the choice of communities is very important too. We can counsel them in that regard as well. That's mm-hmm. one of the most important steps you make, is which community to go to before you start the process.
There definitely are communities that I think hold more value, and Stonecliff is one of them.
Yes.
It seems like everybody that builds up here, if they want to move on after a couple of years and they want to sell their home, they mm-hmm. normally do really well on it.
It's a very beautiful community.
The design process is so important to work with your builder closely, because you can make changes on those plans and it's very inexpensive. You don't want to do that after you start a construction. So every single design change that you make on your plan, we also provide that with cost. So you get the whole picture.
Once we start designing a floor plan, we'll take them through homes that we've already built.
Right.
And once we already have a great room size, we'll take them to a great room that's similar size, so they can actually get a feel for what it is.
Oh, that's valuable.
Yeah,
that's
very valuable. Because it's really hard to conceptualize when you're looking at a piece of paper, mm-hmm. actually what it'll feel like or the size of it.
You'll be able to see it in a new home. You'll be able to see what the cost is, and then see it on the plan of your new home.
Okay.
And then you have the information to make an educated decision about whether you want that or whether you don't.
How often do you find buyers making changes throughout the construction process?
Not as much on our homes as we do with other builders, because we make those changes
In the beginning.
in the design process. Yes. That's what we're trying to avoid, because those are the things that cause distress and anxiety.
And they cause the budget to go completely
Right.
bonkers. And that's normally the biggest surprise that people experience.
Is
Paying more than what they anticipated they would pay for
Right.
in
Yeah.
the building process. And that's why a lot of people prefer to buy.
Yeah.
But we'd like to change that.
and the timeline of building. What are you seeing as far as timeline and maybe some average cost of building in today's market?
You can probably design your house in 30 days, but I would strongly recommend you take more time than that. 90 days is probably better, because it gives you more time to digest the decisions. 6 months to build, 7 months to build. So 9 months total.
Okay.
Maybe a month before that in lot selection. You don't want to rush it. You just don't want to rush it.
If you spend a good amount of time on your plan, picking out the lot, even going as far as picking out some of the products that you're going to put inside your home, and maintaining that budget, once we break ground, we can do it within 6 to 7 months. If you're trying to make all those decisions as they come forward, and people are waiting, subs are waiting to get in there and get started, then that's when the construction process takes a lot longer. So we try and push making decisions.
Yeah. The planning stage is so important.
Yeah, very important.
So, what kind of price points are we looking at? I know that varies.
That is probably the most difficult question there is to ask in the construction industry.
How much is it per
How
square
much
foot?
per square foot? It's
That's what
like,
everybody wants to know.
so I always say, okay, well, I need to spend 1 hour with you and ask you a lot of different questions about what kind of products you want before I can answer that question. What does it include? Does it include the lot? First off, does it include all the landscaping? We try to make all of our homes what we call turnkey, which means when they're finished, you turn the key and move in. So we want to include everything that we possibly can, so that they're not surprised with things on the very end.
So let's talk about design features that are really the hot items. I know with the St. George Area Parade of Homes, that's a fun time to go and see the innovative things that are being put into a home. Do you see any key features that somebody really should invest in when they build their dream home?
Energy efficiency is really, really important today. Here's an example of a trend. Picture windows that don't have any mullions in them are really, really popular right now. But if you understand what that really means, that means that there's only one pane of glass, and your energy efficiency in the entire home can drop as much as 25%
Wow.
on that one item.
Interesting.
And so we try to convince people to use the double panes, insulated panels. And, I mean, you end up with a mullion in the middle of the view, but your energy efficiency is much better.
We like to throw in a few features that, for example, having the pantry close to the garage. It's really important to have a powder bath that's really nice and accessible for your guests.
Yes.
Not having a master bedroom that's too far away from the main portion of the home.
Separating the two living areas, most retired couples want one wing of the home to be for their grandchildren when they come and visit them, and they want to keep the noise down. A real popular thing right now is what they call flex rooms, which are basically rooms for the grandchildren to play in. And then, of course, if you keep that away from the main living area, then the noise doesn't transfer so much.
Up here in Stonecliff lately, I've seen a lot of mix between traditional and contemporary. And it's interesting to see how it's a little bit of a mix on the outside of the house, and then you'll go inside the house and it's all contemporary. Or you'll go inside the house and it's all traditional. Even flip-flop from the outside to the inside.
One of the things I love to ask people, though, they'll say, Clark, what's the latest and greatest? And I'll say, okay, we'll show you what the latest and greatest is. And then we go show it to them, and then I ask them, okay, but do you like this? Do you feel comfortable with it? Because it's important to be on the cutting edge, but it's also important to feel comfortable with what you choose.
Well, it's that balance of finding something that's going to have a great resale value, but also something that really speaks to them and resonates with them and makes them feel at home. Is the important.
So we have two words, form and function. Form is aesthetics. Function is what makes you feel comfortable. your daily living, what you do on a daily basis. If aesthetics are really important to you, then you're probably going to sacrifice function. It just can't be helped. You're going to run into these things, the design features in the home, products and floor plan design. You know what I mean? Oh, this looks great, but does it work well?
Exactly.
This is really pretty, but every day you're going to be doing this. Are you sure this is what you want to do? We feel our job is to give them choice. Give them the choice and let them decide.
One thing that's important to consider in St. George is it gets really hot here. A lot of people will come and they'll buy a west-facing lot. And they'll put a lot of their windows on that side, and they don't realize at the summertime how hot it gets, and so they're having to put shades down the whole time and blocking their view. So we prefer a north-facing view when picking a lot. So it's important that you're working with a real estate agent like yourself that has lived in St. George and knows the area to take those kind of things into consideration. They're small things, but they go a long ways in the end.
In the comfort of the home and the enjoyability of actually sitting on your patio, and of course seeing the beautiful Pine Valley Mountain to the north and the Red Rock. That view is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and some people don't really realize that just that first choice right there of north-south facing gives you passive solar design, which means you don't have to spend any money and your house is already more energy efficient just by the way you face the home.
So if we were to say one thing, make the building process sexy, like, you know, what is the appeal to someone that's about building?
Personal service. 3 of us work together. Janet is part of the team. She works with product selections. And between the 3 of us, you have 3 people you can contact any time of the day to answer any question you have. We're there for you. And I think your reputation speaks to that. You've created lots of beautiful homes, happy clients, and you know, the one that we're in currently obviously showcases that. If you just take a small pan of this home, I hope you'll be able to see the owner's personal choices. Every single home you go in that we build are going to be completely different from the other home. And what that is, that's a reflection of the owner's choices and the owner's desires. I hope that's what you see when you look at this house. Thank you so much for taking your time today and visiting with us and helping to educate all those that are looking at doing custom home builds. And I love having partners with great builders that I can refer clients to and make sure that they're taken care of in getting the beautiful home that they deserve. Thank you so much for your consideration.
If you have further questions about building your dream home, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And I'll see you on the next adventure.